Hello, my name is Lisa, and today I'll be going through my Rocket 3 final sequence. If you've got some blocks, maybe a blanket or a towel you can roll up, or a strap, any of those props might come in handy along with any other props that you typically use in your practice. And we'll get started with a brief warm-up, and then we'll go through a couple of sun A's and sun B's before moving into the full sequence. So if you want to meet me in a comfortable seat on your mat, we'll get started with some breathing. Take a moment to just notice where your breath's at right now. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Is it kind of jagged or smooth? Just notice. And then as you start to elongate the inhales and lengthen the exhales, maybe start to notice some micro movements that your body naturally makes if you allow the breath to move it. On your inhales, as the belly expands, notice how that also slightly moves your pelvis forward, creating a slight arch in the back. And then as you exhale and the belly condenses, notice the low back flattening. And similarly, as you inhale and your ribs expand, notice what happens to your shoulders as they lift up and maybe even away from your center a little bit. And then as you exhale, they relax, maybe allowing them to relax back down the spine, returning to their original position. For the next couple of breaths, take a moment to continue noticing these little micro adjustments that naturally happen within your body when you allow the breath to move the body. And then as we move through our practice today, we're going to try to connect our breath with our movements and see if you can take a moment every once in a while to allow your breath to make tiny adjustments in the poses that you're in. See if your breath can make you a little more comfortable or go a little bit deeper. And if this doesn't totally resonate with you today, that's fine. I just encourage you to continue to pay attention to your breath and how that breath moves with your body. Great. All right, from here, we're gonna start with a little bit of seated cat-cow. So we'll just exaggerate that tiny movement that we just discussed that happens in the base of the spine when we inhale. So when we inhale, we're gonna pull our chest through and push the belly forward, creating an arch in the back in the spine. And as we exhale and the belly condenses, we'll send our belly to our spine, roll through the shoulders, and relax. Inhale, sending the chest through, maybe gaze to the sky. And exhale, sending the belly button to the spine. And allowing that arch in the back. Inhale one more time. And exhale, rounding through the spine. Inhale, come back to a neutral seat. Lengthen through the spine. We're gonna lift the arms up. And as you exhale, gently twist over to the left and just tap your knee and tap somewhere behind your left hip. And then we'll inhale, come back up. And exhale, tap your right knee and behind your right hip. Inhale, come back up. Exhale to the right. And one more time. Exhaling to the left. Good. Inhale, come back up. And take your right hand to your left wrist, and we're just going to lean over to the right side, finding a nice stretch through the left side body. Inhaling to lengthen, and exhale, bringing us back to center. Inhale, lengthen to the right. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, coming back to center. And then let's just, similar to our cat-cow movement, we'll start back in a seated cat here. And then see if you can just move your torso in a circle. One way, and then the other. Moving our spine around a little bit, remembering to breathe. Great. Now let's move on to our hands and knees. We'll come into tabletop position with your hands under your shoulders, knees underneath of the hips. Engage the belly button, engage the core, sending the belly button to the spine. And we're going to do a little bit of wrist warm up, so just start to shift forwards and backwards, compressing the wrists and releasing that. Remembering to breathe. And then we'll take our hands so our fingers face the outsides of the mat and rock back and forth. And bring the fingertips to face the knees and rock forwards and backwards again, maybe eventually gently sending the hips down towards the feet. And if the palms of your hands come up a little bit, that's okay. Just try to send energy back towards the earth, actively reaching the palms back down towards the mat. Let it feel good. And then finally, twist the hands all the way back around, trying to face the fingertips towards the knees again, but coming through the middle of your arms. And we'll do the same thing here for a moment. And then let's flip the hands over so you're coming onto the backs of the wrists and do a couple of mini push-ups here, massaging the backs of the wrists. And then we'll come to sit on our heels. If that's not comfortable for you, you can just come to a comfortable seat. Or if you'd like to stretch out your toes a little bit, maybe flip the toes under and come to sit on your heels this way. This can be intense sometimes, especially if you're not used to it. Then we're going to send the arms out in front of us and start to make fists, squeeze, and then widen the fingertips as much as possible and squeeze. Keep going through the full range of motion there and slowly get a little faster until eventually it's like you're trying to flick something off of your fingers, maybe something sticky that's hard to get off. Try to maintain the full range of motion. It's going to start to burn, kind of already does, as fast as you can. Keep going, we got this. Feel the burn. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Maybe roll the wrists a little bit one way and then the other. Great. Now coming back to tabletop position here, keeping the toes curled under or curling them under if they're not already. Engage your core, find a slight tuck of the tailbone, and then we're going to lift from the hips and press back up into our first downward facing dog. And we'll just take a moment here to walk out the legs, bending one leg and then the other. Really pressing the earth away, sending the hips to the sky, finding a nice long line from your tailbone through the tip of your head here. Inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, slowly make your way to the top of the mat, taking little baby steps all the way up there, leaving a little bit of room in front of you. And we'll bend our knees and inhale, coming to a stand. Great. Let's just take 2 breaths in here to reset ourselves. Maybe notice some of those same things that we noticed as we were inhaling in our seat. Inhale, find expansion, and exhale, contraction, relaxing the shoulders down. One more time, inhale, and exhale, Here we go, sun A. Inhale, arms up. Look at your thumbs. And exhale, fold forward, making sure to bend from the hips. Take your thumbs to your hip creases if you need to, and press to try and encourage that flat back as long as possible before relaxing the head over, nose towards the knees, finding compression between the belly and the thighs. Let's take a moment here and find a nice inhale. Notice how it lifts your torso up farther away from the ground, I guess. And exhale, allowing your torso and your head to relax back down. Maybe one more breath. Noticing that expansion and contraction. Good. And then on your next inhale, use that expansion to bring you to half lift. Nice flat back, lengthen through the spine, remembering that your neck is part of your spine here. And exhale, plant the palms, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, coming into high plank, pressing the earth away, sending the shoulder blades left to right, belly to spine, and maybe a slight doming effect in the back. We're gonna go through knees, chest, chin variation of chaturanga. So as you inhale, look forward, shift forward, drop the knees, tilt the tailbone up, creating a slight back bend here, and then hugging the elbows in as you exhale. Slowly lower the chest all the way down to the earth, keeping the gaze forward, pause, and then lower the chin, lower the rest of your body, wiggle everything out, press the pelvis, press the tops of the feet into the mat, hands under the shoulders, and then we're gonna pull our chest through our shoulders, and without pressing out of our hands, engage your back muscles and lift into a baby cobra. You should be able to wiggle your fingers or lift your hands without losing any height. Exhale, lower the chest back down, engage the core, press back up to tabletop, find slight tuck of the tailbone, and lift back up into downward facing dog, finding that nice long spine as you press evenly out of all four hands and feet. Inhale to find length, and exhale, relaxing the body down towards the earth as you continue to actively press away. 2 more breaths, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, bend the knees as we prepare to make our way to the top. And then inhale, step to the top of the mat, finding halfway lift, lengthening out through the spine. And exhale, folding from the hip creases, relaxing the belly down towards the thighs, nose towards the knee. Bend the knees a little bit. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, arms up. Look at your thumbs. Exhale, fold forward, folding from the hips, relaxing the head over. Inhale, expanding into half lift. Exhale, planting the palms. Maybe step the left foot back first this time, and then the right foot. And then you can move through knees, chest, chin variation like we just did, or maybe this time just knees down. So inhale, look forward, shift forward, drop your knees, and then engaging your core, keeping the elbows tucked in. As you exhale, lower the entire top half of your body as one straight line until your elbows hit 90 degrees. Pause. And exhale, lower the rest of the way. Wiggle the body out. Press into your foundation and pull the chest through, lifting with your back muscles as you inhale and exhale, lowering the chest, engaging the core, moving through tabletop position again, or maybe this time straight to down dog by engaging the core, pressing the earth away, finding slight tuck of the tailbone before you flip the toes under, and press back into downward facing dog. Maybe pedal the feet out a little bit here. 3 breaths, inhale, and exhale. Press the earth away, sending the chest back towards the thighs. Inhale, and exhale. 1 more inhale, and exhale. On the next inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, step forward, halfway lift, lengthening from tailbone through the spine as you breathe in. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, Samasthiti. One more Sane. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to high plank, and move through either variation of Chaturanga that we just went through. Inhale, shift forward, engage the core, elbows in. Exhale, lower to 90, and all the way down. Inhale, pressing into the foundation, pulling the chest through and lifting with your back. Exhale, releasing and finding your way back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, make your way to the top, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, Samasthiti. All right, Sun B. Inhale, arms up. Drop your hips down, lift your chest. Send the weight into your heels for chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, folding from the hips. Relaxing the head over. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, planting the palms, stepping back, moving through either version of Chaturanga that we've already done, or this time to go through Chaturanga from plank. Press the earth away, send the shoulder blades left to right, really engaging the shoulders, core engaged. Look forward, shift forward, elbows in, lower your whole body as one line until 90 degrees. Pause. And inhale, pull the chest through. Keep the thighs and the hips lifted, micro bend in the elbow, gaze slightly up. Exhale, engage the core, press back into downward facing dog. And on your next inhale, send the right foot forward, left foot out a bit onto 2 separate lines. Left foot at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, rise up for warrior 1. Exhale, moving through Chaturanga, whatever variation you'd like. Keeping the core engaged, shifting forward, elbows in. Pulling yourself through on the inhale. Exhale, finding downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right foot 45-degree, separate line. Inhale, lengthen, lift up into warrior 1, and exhale, plant the palms, moving through Chaturanga. Shift forward, lower to 90. Inhale, pull the chest through, hips off the ground. Exhale, pressing back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, maybe walk out the feet a little bit. Inhale, find length. Exhale, sending energy back down into the earth. Maybe think about what your triceps are doing here. You want slight external rotation in the shoulders. So think about wrapping the triceps around towards your back. And on your next inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, step, hop or float if that's in your practice. Find half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms up, drop your bum. Look at your thumbs, chest up. Weight in the heels. Exhale, Samasthiti. We'll do one more Sun B. Inhale, arms up. Drop down to chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, moving through Chaturanga, whatever variation works for you. Making sure, whatever variation you choose, pulling your chest through on your inhale, engaging your back muscles. And as you find your way back to downward facing dog, find the tuck of your tailbone first. Inhale, right foot forward, left foot out. Rise up, warrior one. Exhale, plant the palms. Move through chaturanga. Lowering to 90. Pulling through. Keeping that micro bend in the elbow. Finding the tuck of your tailbone. And pressing back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Right foot out. Lengthen and lift. Warrior one. Exhale. Move through chaturanga. Whatever variation suits you. Pressing back up for downward facing dog. And we'll take 3 more breaths here. Inhale. Lengthening through the spine. Exhale. Take a moment to notice what the breath does in this position. As you inhale, maybe your chest and your shoulders lift up. And as you exhale, maybe they float back towards the earth a bit. One more inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, make your way to the top. Lengthen through the spine for half lift. And exhale, fold forward, finding that compression between the belly and the thighs. Inhale, drop your seat, lift your chest and arms, chair pose. Exhale, Samasthiti heave. Let's take one quick breath here to reset us. Inhaling, finding length and integrity. And exhaling, relaxing shoulders down, sending energy down through the earth. And on your next inhale, send the arms back up, bend the knees, coming back for chair pose. And this time we'll stay here for 3 breaths. Inhale, exhale, make sure the weight's in your heels. Inhale, exhale, see if you can sink a little lower. Inhale, and exhale, bring your fingers to interlace, press the palms away. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring the belly parallel to the mat. Try not to dump all the weight onto your thighs. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, strong foundation here. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Heel toe the feet out to the edges of the mat. And drop your hips down towards the earth as we come into Malasana or Yogi Squat. A couple options here. You can take a block and bring it under your butt to help create some stability with the heels on the floor, allowing you to really press the elbows into the knees and the knees back into the elbows with your hands in prayer position so that you can really lengthen up out of the spine and broaden through the shoulders. Another good way to find that stability, which I'm a big fan of, is to take a rolled up mat or towel or blanket and bring your heels to rest on that so that your heels can find the stability even if they can't make it all the way down to the mat. And then from here, we're going to do a couple of, we're just gonna move a little bit through Malasana to forward fold a couple times to help open our hips up a little bit. So from here, plant your palms in front of you and then start to lift the hips slowly, trying to maintain compression between your belly and your thighs. So if you can't keep that connection and straighten your legs all the way, keep them bent as much as you need to in order to maintain that connection. And then exhale, we're gonna drop back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop back down. One more time, inhale, lift up. Pause here for a moment, inhale. Exhale, see if you can release a little closer to the mat with your head. And inhale, lengthen, exhale, coming back to our yogi squat. Maybe you made a little bit of extra space there in your hips. And we'll come back for one more breath in Malasana pressing the elbows into the knees and the knees into the elbows, lengthening through the spine and broadening the shoulders. Great. Exhale, bring your palms to the mat. Step back for chaturanga. Any variation you like, engage the core, shift forward, lower to 90. Inhale, pull the chest forward. Exhale, pressing your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Left foot comes out to the side at a 45-degree angle. Lengthen through the spine and lift up for warrior one. We're going to take 2 breaths here. And while we're here, pay attention to your hips, making sure that they're squared off to the front of the mat to the extent that that is comfortable for you. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, press into your foundation, maybe sinking a little deeper into the front knee. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, step the left foot back in line with the front foot so that we open our hips up to the long side of the mat for warrior two stance. Inhale, arms to a T. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, press actively through the pinky edge of your back foot, creating engagement through the inner back thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Notice any micro adjustments your breath may make to your pelvis or your shoulders. Exhale, press as you lean. As you lean into your front knee, trying to find that 90-degree bend, send your right knee towards the right side of your mat to help engage the right thigh. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, find that solid foundation. On your next inhale, press through the front foot, lengthening through the front leg. Heel toe the back foot in a bit. And if you've got your blocks, this is an excellent position to use blocks in. So maybe you get that handy. Take your left hand, put it on your left hip. And we're going to actively press the left hip back. In line with the right hip. Sorry, it sounded like somebody was at my door. Press the left hip so that's back in line with the right hip. And try throughout the entire pose to keep the hips on the same level with each other here. Inhale, lengthen your arms to a T. Send the hips towards the back of the mat and lengthen the right arm forward. And exhale, drop the right arm down, either bringing the right arm to a block at whatever height is helpful for you, to your shin, or if you're capable in your body, to the mat. Remembering wherever you place your hand, you really want it to be in a position that's helpful for you to be able to keep that left hip back and roll the left arm all the way up to the sky, opening the shoulder up. So if you're going for a lower position and you notice your left shoulder dipping down towards the mat, that's a good sign that it would be helpful to find a nice higher position so you can really open the chest up here. It's as if you want to get both of your shoulder blades to touch an imaginary wall behind you. Inhale, lengthen through the torso. Exhale, send the shoulder blades towards each other as you open up through the chest here. One more inhale. And exhale, cartwheel the left hand down. Step the left foot out onto railroad tracks as we close our hips off to the front again. We're gonna pause here in pyramid pose for a moment. So as you fold forward, hinging from the hips, first check that your hips are nice and square with the front of the mat. Lengthen through the spine. We'll take one breath in and exhale. And on your next inhale, plant your palm, again, either on the block, the floor, or your shin, and roll the right arm open to the sky this time. Really trying to keep the hips in line with each other. It's so easy to allow the hips to just kind of like dip to the side or do some other funky things in this position. It's a very challenging position. So work on keeping those hips level and really trying to open the right shoulder up to the sky. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, cartwheel the right arm down, step the left foot back for warrior two, legs, and then we'll take the right arm either to the thigh or to a block or maybe to the mat. Inhale, find length, send the left arm to the sky, maybe over your ear, creating a nice long line from the knife edge of the back foot all the way through the tip of your fingers. Exhale, pressing into your foundation here, trying not to put too much weight into your front arm wherever it is, trying to allow most of your support coming from your core and your strong foundation. One more breath in. And as you exhale, step the left foot back out into a high lunge. We'll drop the left knee down, palms come to the chest, lengthen up through the spine. And as you exhale, start to rotate the torso over to the right, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, twisting open to the right. Inhale, lengthen, maybe lifting the back knee. Exhale, gently see if you can find more twist. This is a great pose to notice how the breath moves you. Again, try to keep the hips in line with each other. Don't let the right hip slip forward too far. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, spike the left foot towards the back of the mat. And as you inhale, start to move back towards the front of the mat, and we'll move through chaturanga. Vinyasa of your choice. Or you can skip the vinyasa and we'll meet straight and down dog. So if you're moving through vinyasa, exhale, lower to 90 and pause. Inhale, pulling your chest through. Exhale, pressing back into downward facing dog. Great. Now let's drop the knees right where you are. Then we're going to take the elbows and place them where our hands were. They should be roughly shoulder distance apart. Then we're going to slowly start to press the chest back and down towards the earth, coming into puppy pose to start to open up through the shoulders here. Inhale, breathing into the shoulders. Exhale, allowing the body to sink down towards the earth. Inhale. Exhale, pressing the chest back towards the thighs. Your chin can either come down towards the mat, or if that's not comfortable, you could also bring your shoulder, your forehead down to the mat. We're going to breathe here for 5, 4, 3, engage the belly, 2, 1. On your next inhale, slide forward, coming into Sphinx pose, pressing the chest up, pulling the chest through. Actually, don't press the chest up. Pull the chest through and engage the back muscles. But you do want to lift up out of the shoulders here. Engage the belly so the belly's not just sinking down to the floor. You want a slight lift in your low abdominals. And press your pelvis and the tops of your feet into the mat. Take one more breath here. Inhale to lengthen, sending the tip of the head towards the sky. And as you exhale, start to press back into tabletop position, maybe leaving your forearms on the ground, rolling the toes under, and see if you can press up to downward facing dog from there. We'll take one breath here, inhale, and exhale, pressing the earth away, sending the hips high. Your left side, inhale, left foot forward, right foot out to the side, 45-degree angle. Lengthen through the spine, lift, send the arms up, gaze up, inhale, lengthen, exhale, press into your foundation, hips square to the front, inhale, lengthen, exhale, step the right foot back in line with the left foot, inhale, arms to a T for warrior two, lengthen, exhale, sink into the front knee, sending the left knee to the outside edge of the mat. Inhale to find length. Exhale, making sure to press into the back edge of the back foot as well. And on your last breath, see if you can notice any slight adjustments the breath helps to make to this position. On your next inhale, press into the front foot, straightening the front knee. Heel toe the back foot in, grab your block if you need it. Right hand to the right hip, pressing the right hip back in line with the left hip. If you were to bend far enough forward, the right hip should come right directly over top of the left hip. Inhale, arms to a T. Exhale, send the hips to the back of the mat, send the left hand forward, and drop the left hand down, finding whatever position you found on the other side. And roll the right arm slowly open to the sky. Inhale, find length. And exhale, pressing the right shoulder back as if you're trying to touch a wall behind you. Inhale, find length. And exhale, sinking into your foundation, allowing energy to come back up. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, cartwheeling the right arm down, stepping the right foot up, shortening the distance between your right foot and left foot, squaring the hips off to the front. Again, an active adjustment with your hands is usually useful here as we find pyramid pose. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, roll the shoulders down your back. Find a comfortable position for your right hand, either block, mat, or shin. And inhale, roll the left arm up towards the sky, opening up through the left shoulder, trying to keep the hips in line with each other. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, trying to relax into the pose a bit. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, cartwheeling the left arm down, stepping the right foot back into warrior two legs. Left arm comes to left thigh, or to a block, or to the mat. And inhale, lengthen, lift the right arm up to the sky, and maybe eventually over the ear, creating a nice long line. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, find your strong foundation. And on your next breath cycle, see if you can notice your body adjusting itself in minor ways here. Trying to roll that right arm open. Inhale. And exhale, stepping the right foot back for high lunge. Lowering the right knee down. Lifting up. Pressing the palms together. And on the next exhale, twisting over to the left, right arm, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper into the pose, trying to find your hands at heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Maybe lift the back foot. If you do, spike it towards the back of the mat. Exhale, check in on those hips, make sure they're in a line. And inhale, lengthen one more time. Exhale, come to frame the front foot. And step back, moving through chaturanga or vinyasa of your choice, or meeting back in downward facing dog, skipping the vinyasa. If you move through the vinyasa, exhale, slowly lowering. Inhale, pulling your chest through and lifting with your back muscles, engaging your core. And exhale, pressing back into downward facing dog. Good. Now this time we're going to leave the knees lifted, but we're going to drop the elbows right where they are, coming into dolphin pose. Again, elbows should be roughly shoulder distance apart. Hands can either be parallel, or if they creep in a little bit, or if you prefer to interlace your fingertips, that's totally fine. Just try to make sure your elbows aren't sneaking out. You want your elbows to remain nice and in line with your shoulders here. Press the chest back through your arms, lifting the hips to the sky. You might need to bend your knees more here than you do in downward facing dog. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, relax, press the earth away, sending the chest back towards the thighs, working to strengthen the shoulders here. If it's in your practice and you want to rise up into forearm stand or pincha, you can do so. We're going to stay here for 5 more breaths. If you would rather relax in child's pose for those 5 breaths, that's totally fine. 4, 3, 2, 1. And everybody come down. We'll take 1 breath in child's pose. Pay attention to how the inhale moves your body and how the exhale allows you to relax back into the earth here. Inhale and exhale, sending the hips back towards the heels. Great. On your next inhale, make your way back up to down dog. And I'm going to demonstrate this transition first. So we're going to shorten up our down dog a bit by walking our hands closer to our feet. Then we're going to shift our shoulders over top of our hands, bend our elbows, and press the earth away and back. And as if the floor is lava and you can't touch it, see if you can just glide your hands back slightly above the mat. I'll show you one more time. Shorten your down dog, shoulders over wrists, bend the elbows and press. Alternative option here, you can just slowly walk your hands back to the top of the mat and we'll all meet in forward fold. You can try that once or twice if you like. And then in forward fold, take your first 2 fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, fold forward, relaxing the head down, finding compression between your thighs and your belly, taking the elbows, wrapping them around towards the outside of your legs, and trying to make sure to roll the shoulders back away from the ears here. Inhale and exhale. Maybe on your inhale you bend your knees, and on your exhale, maybe try and straighten them a little more. One more inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, lengthen through the spine. And on your exhale, send your hands underneath of your feet so that your toes come to touch your wrists. You can do both at once or one at a time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold for 1 breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release the hands. And bend your knees, inhale. Make your way to standing. Lifting your head up last. And let's roll the shoulders back. Let's take a breath in here to reset. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, roll the shoulders down. Find a nice strong foundation. Tuck the tailbone just slightly. You want a fairly neutral tailbone here. Lift up out of the legs by engaging the quads here. Engage the core. Lengthen through the spine. Roll those shoulders back. Find nice, solid mountain pose with lots of integrity. Great. Now start to shift your weight over to your right foot, trying to maintain all that integrity you just created. Don't collapse in your right hip. Inhale, lift the left foot up. Inhale, well, I guess you have to exhale. Inhale, arms to the sky. And from here, just see if you can lift up onto your right tippy toes and slowly take a step forward with the left foot, bringing your left tippy toes down, trying not to let either heel touch the ground. Inhale, lifting the right knee, then taking a step onto the right toes and seeing if you can make your way all the way to the top of the mat without coming down onto the heels. If you do fall down onto the heels, no big deal, just start where you left off. Some days your balance is going to be better than other days. When we get to the top, maybe pause for one breath in and out, lowering the heels with control. Arms can come back to your sides. Good. From here, we're going to step the right foot back. I'm going to step the left foot back so that my back isn't facing the camera, and come into a wide-legged stance here. Engage the legs, lengthen up through the spine. We want to create a lot of length in the entire back side of the body for this pose. I have a cramp already, that's not good. All right, wiggle that out. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands to waist. Start to hinge at the hips. With a strong core, maintaining length in the back. We're gonna pause halfway here. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, and exhale, continue to fold forward, bringing the hands down to the mat. From here, try to work your hands back in between your feet and underneath of your shoulders. If this is very difficult for you, sometimes it can help to widen your stance a little bit. It's not always going to do what you want it to do, but it can help. Just make sure that you still have integrity to lift yourself up and you don't widen so far that you lose that. Alternatively, if it's very easy for you to reach your head to the mat from this position, maybe you try shortening your stance and see if you get a little bit more out of it. So we're going to take a couple breaths here. Inhaling, noticing the buoyancy of your body as you inhale, and exhale, allowing your body to contract. Seeing if you created any extra space and maybe you move closer to the mat. Inhale, exhale. We'll take one more breath. In and out. On your next inhale, start to walk the hands forward. Engage the core, bring the hands to the waist, and inhale, rise all the way up. We'll do one more version of that. So keeping the hands on the waist, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the waist, pausing halfway down, rolling the shoulders back, exhaling to make your way the rest of the way down. And this time we'll take our first two fingers, wrap them around our big toes. And as you exhale and work your head down towards the earth, send your elbows out to a 90 degree, allowing that motion to sort of pull you down closer to the earth. More breaths. And on your next inhale, bring your hands back out in front of you. Lengthen through the spine and engage the core, hands to the waist, and inhale all the way back up. Great. Now we're going to work on some half splits. So turn to face for you it'll be the back edge of your mat. So that your right leg is in front. Step the left leg out onto a separate track. And if you've got your blocks can always be helpful, especially if splits are not super easy for you. And from here, we'll take the right foot out in front, flex the right foot, sending the right hip back in line with the left hip. Inhale to find length. And exhale, folding forward over the right leg. We're going to take 2 breaths in here. Inhale and exhale, relaxing the body over the right leg. Inhale, find length. And from here, we're going to, blocks might be super useful here. You can use the mat if that is in your practice, but we're going to be lifting the right leg up. So if you've got blocks, bring them to either side of your leg, and inhale, find length. And as you exhale, lift the right knee up, right leg up, and hold for 3, 2, 1, and lower. We're going to do that one more time. Try to remember to keep the core engaged and see how much compression you can find between your belly and your thigh. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, lift. 3, 2, 1. Good. And let's just even that out with a little low lunge here. Maybe shifting back and forth between low lunge and half splits. And then we'll shift around to the other side. You can move through wide-legged forward fold again here. I'm gonna stay right here and I'll just shift my left leg forward. And we'll do the same thing. So finding your right hip over top of your right knee, left foot out in front, lengthening through the left leg. Inhale to find length through the spine, and exhale, fold forward. 2 breaths here. Inhale and exhale, seeing if you can relax over a bit further. It's okay if your knee bends a little bit. Inhale, find length, and exhale, relaxing over. Inhale, lengthen and lift, and exhale, reset here. All right, we're gonna do the leg lifts again. Just grab your blocks if you got rid of them. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lift. 3, 2, 1, lower. One more time. Let's take a full breath cycle first to reset. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lift. 3, 2, 1, lower. Great. Rock it out a little bit. Stretching the hip flexors out. Okay, and from here, we're going to find our way to frog pose. So bringing both knees to the mat and finding a nice stretch. Legs should be parallel to each other. Whatever position is comfortable for you here. And then slowly start to make your way down to your elbows if that's comfortable. You can use blocks to help if the elbows is too much, or you can shorten the distance between your knees. Just find somewhere comfortable to try and relax into the discomfort. We'll take a couple breaths here. Inhale and exhale. See if you can find any more space. What can you let go of? Inhale, find length. Exhale. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Good. Next inhale, start to press yourself back up and slowly move the knees back in towards each other. And we're going to find our way to a wide-legged seat here. Once you find your seat, pay attention to your back and what's happening with your pelvis. We really want to create a slight anterior tilt here so that we're not rounding through the spine through this fold. So inhale, find length. Exhale, maybe place your hands behind you and press your chest forward a little bit. Roll the shoulders back and see if you can find a slight anterior tilt. It's kind of hard for me. This is not my favorite pose ever. So it is kind of a lot of work even just to find that anterior tilt. Sometimes I stay right here for this whole position. And once you find that, inhale, find that length again, and exhale, start to fold forward, trying to maintain that slight anterior tilt. Toes can either be flexed or pointed. Find out what works best for you. They kind of do different things. Inhale, find length. And exhale, maybe fold forward a little farther, trying to maintain that length in your back. One more breath in, and exhale, one more breath out. Good, inhale, lift up. And exhale, relax a little bit, maybe shake out the legs if you need to, because this next pose is like the best pose in Rocket ever. I maybe should have put a little more sarcasm on that. Multibunded checkups. Blocks are a great option here. Either bring your legs closer to 90 degrees if they were wider than that. It'll help make this a little bit easier. And then we're gonna inhale, lengthen, make sure we're keeping that length in the spine again. Exhale, twist over so that your chest is facing your right leg. And either place your hands on the mat in like a chaturanga arm position, or if you've got blocks, great option for blocks. Place your arms or your hands in chaturanga on the blocks. And then we're gonna inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold over the right leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lift your hips up for 2, 1, exhale. All right, we're gonna do the same thing, except this time, see if you can lift your right leg, or maybe your right leg, maybe both legs and your hips. All right, ready? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lift. And see if you can lift both legs. 3, 2, 1. Lower. Shake it out. Do whatever you gotta do. Cramps are real. Inhale, lengthen, and we're gonna shift over to the left side. All right, inhale, find length. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lift the bum. 2, 1, exhale, lower. All right, this time, maybe you lift one or both legs along with the butt. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lift. 3, 2, 1. Sorry, I forgot to start counting. Shake it out. And then we're gonna make our way to the top of the mat. So you can either do, if it's in your practice, the fancy transition where take your chaturanga arms on either side of for you to be your left leg. Press the butt up, shift, lift the legs, and float them through, coming into chaturanga. Or you can simply turn your body, find your chaturanga arms, press up, and step back. Find your chaturanga, and move through your flow. Taking whatever vinyasa feels good in this moment, which could be no vinyasa. Inhaling for cobra or up dog, and exhaling, making our way back to downward facing dog. Great, let's take one breath in here. Find length, pressing the chest back. Exhale, sending energy down into the earth. Inhale, step to the top of the mat. Find your halfway lift, lengthening from tailbone through the tip of the head. And exhale, find your forward fold. And inhale, we're gonna rise up. Standing position. Exhale. Find a nice, solid mountain pose again, finding integrity and stability here. And then, on your next inhale, see if you can find your right big toe with your first 2 fingers. and maintain that balance. If this is really difficult for you, you can also try and just hold your knee and keep your knee bent the whole time. If you've got your toe, see if you can lengthen the leg forward. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, relax the shoulders down. One more breath, inhale. And as you exhale, send the leg out to the right. If you've got your knee bent, just send the right hip and right knee out to the right. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And as you exhale, make your way back to the front. Inhale. And exhale, let go. Hold for 2, 1. And instead of lowering the leg all the way to the ground, bring your right foot over top of your left leg for a figure 4. And you can either stay here and balance and breathe, or if it feels like a good idea for you today, inhale, find length, and exhale, hinge at the hips and maybe fold forward. Finding whatever is comfortable for you. One more breath wherever you are. Inhale, find length somewhere, and exhale, relax. And inhale, come back up, exhaling to release the foot and place it back on the mat. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. Shake the legs out a little bit. Find that integrity, shifting the weight over to the right foot, finding your knee or your left big toe. Inhale, find length, and exhale, extend the foot out long. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, shoulders relax. Inhale, and exhale. One more inhale, and exhale, sending the left foot out to the left side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. If you fall, that is fine. Inhale, exhale, back to front. Inhale, and exhale, let go for 2, 1. And bring the left foot over top of the right thigh for figure 4. And you can either breathe here, or if you feel like it, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Breathing into the hips. Wherever you are, take one more breath. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, come back to standing. And we'll exhale, releasing our left foot back to the earth with control. And from here, let's lift up our arms, look at our thumbs. We'll exhale, finding forward fold again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back. Move through chaturanga, or meet us in down dog, whichever. If you're moving through chaturanga, exhale to lower. Inhale to pull your chest through and lift up. And exhale, meet us in downward facing dog. All right, from here, maybe move your hands a little bit closer to your feet and a little bit wider. Press up out of the shoulders as far as you can so you've got lots of space, because we're going to take tiny little steps and see if we can walk through our hands. So once you get to your hands, cross one foot in front of the other, press up out of the shoulders again, and see if you can slide your knees through and send your right leg out, your left leg out, and then lower into a seated position. We're going to come to staff from there. So send the legs out long, actively pressing the legs into the earth. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, press the hands into the earth. If the hands don't reach the earth, you can always press the fists into the earth or find blocks. Inhale, lengthen. Don't let the spine round. Exhale, find your foundation. Send those legs down into the earth. Inhale, lengthen, one more. And exhale, relax. Maybe wiggle the legs out a little bit. We're gonna move into a seated forward fold. So let's inhale, lengthen again. Try to maintain that length in the back and the slight anterior tilt of the pelvis here. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Maybe grabbing the big toes with the first 2 fingers. Inhale, exhale, see if you can relax over. 2 more breaths, in and out. 1 more, inhale and exhale. On your next breath in, lift and lengthen, and exhale, reset. From here, you can either press directly into the earth, or if you've got blocks and you'd like to use them again, we're going to press our butt off the ground and then see if we can cross our feet and pull them under our arms and shoot back into chaturanga. I will not be shooting back, but I'll be going through the motion. So lift the butt, cross the feet, press the feet through, and maybe you can shoot all the way back into chaturanga, or maybe just like I did, you're just kind of landing on the other side of your arms. So again, inhale, lengthen, exhale, press up, cross the feet, send them through, and then make your way back for a vinyasa. And then we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Actually, you know what? Let's just all go straight to downward facing dog. Great. Now from here, we're gonna make our way back through, except this time, instead of sending both feet all the way through, you're going to try to jump through and land with your right knee folded and on the ground, and your left leg in that straight position. So again, blocks can be super helpful here. I especially find that on this higher setting, they help me to actually be able to kind of jump through. They give me enough room while I'm still working to get that compression that I need. So wherever you are, you can either try and use blocks and jump through, or if you're able to do it on the mat, or you could just walk through again. And when you arrive here, place the right knee down, send the left leg out. And when we get here, we're going to inhale, you guessed it, find length, and exhale, fold. Trying to keep nice flat back. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath in and out. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, straighten back up. And we're just going to take our right foot, bring it out from under us, and take the right heel into the inner upper left thigh for Janu Shirshasana. Might have killed that. All right, inhale, find length. Make sure your torso is squared off to the top of the mat and kind of in line with the left leg. And exhale, maintaining that flat back, fold forward. 2 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Relax the nose over towards the knee. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, find length and lift up, and exhale. We'll come back and reset. We're going to do the press back up again. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lift the butt. Fold the feet through, jump through. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog, skipping the vinyasa so that we can jump through and do it on the other side. I'm gonna use my blocks again because I find that very helpful. This time jumping through so that the left knee lands on the ground and the right leg comes through to straight. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale, relaxing the head over. One more breath in and out. Inhale, lengthen and lift. And exhale, reset. Take the left heel out from under you. Place the left heel against the top of the right inner thigh. Lengthen and fold. You can take your hands either grabbing around the ball of the foot, or maybe you do take your forefingers to your big toe. And wherever you are, take one more breath in, relaxing the head over on your exhale. Inhale, lengthen and lift, and exhale, reset. All right, from here, we're just going to bring both feet out in front of us to the mat. Lengthen through the spine, engage the core, finding a nice solid foundation here. And slowly start to lean back slightly, making sure to keep the chest lifted and lengthen the spine and the core engaged. We're gonna lift the feet for boat pose. You can keep your hands on the backs of your thighs, or inhale, maybe release the hands. If it's in your practice, you can straighten the legs, and we'll stay here for 3. Keep the chest lifted. 2, engage the core. 1, and we will lower back down to a seated position. Find your blocks if you want to do the jump through and you need them, or place your hands next to your hips. We're going to lift up, send the feet back through, and move through a vinyasa. You can actually take it this time if you would like to. Inhaling to shift forward and look forward. Exhaling to lower 90 degrees. Inhale to pull your chest through. Make sure you still find lift. And exhale, press back into downward facing dog. And we're gonna jump to the top of the mat. This time, trying to land in a tiny squat with your feet together and your knees together. And once we get here, we will shift your knees so that they're facing the left long side of the mat. Inhale to find length and to come into a little balanced squat here. And then bring the palms to heart center. And exhale, twist towards the top of the mat. Bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, trying to keep the knees in line with each other as you twist open towards the front of the mat. Inhaling to find length, and exhaling to find more twist. Options to open your arms up, placing the left arm on the ground, right arm reaches open to the sky, trying to keep those knees together. Or if it's in your practice, you can take a bind. From here, option to take a side crow. So keeping your knees together, twisted towards the front, place your left hand down, left elbow still pressing against the outside of the right knee. Place the right elbow, right hand down into chaturanga. Right elbow should be away from the right thigh. You don't want to rest your right hip on the right elbow if you can avoid it. It is helpful to get up if you want to do that, but sometimes it's helpful to not start that practice. Anyways, and then start to slowly shift your weight forward and see if you can lift your feet out from under you. Breathe. Remember to engage your shoulders, sending your shoulder blades left and right away from each other. And if you fall, that's part of the fun. And then we'll meet back in our little squat position and turn to the right side of the mat. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Lengthen and find your balanced squat here. Palms come to heart center. Exhale, twisting towards the front of the mat and bringing the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Inhale to lengthen and exhale, finding space to twist towards the front. Couple more breaths in and out. Again, option 2, plant the right arm and open up through the left. And then if you'd like to take it, keeping the right elbow on the outside of the left knee, plant the right hand. Plant the left hand next to it with the intention of chaturanga arms here. And then see if you can slowly start to shift your body weight onto your arms and maybe lift up both feet. Then take a couple breaths in side crow. And from there, if it's in your practice, you can shoot back into plank pose and we will move through a chaturanga. A vinyasa. Inhaling for up dog or cobra and exhaling to press back into downward facing dog. Lower your knees. We're going to come to our belly, wiggling the hips out and taking the arms back towards your sides with the palms facing towards your body, thumbs facing down. Inhale, find length, and exhale, lift the legs off the ground, lift the chest off the ground and reach the arms back. Inhale, exhale. On your next inhale, see if you can lift higher. Hold there for 1, 2, 3, and exhale. We'll lower back down. Pausing for a breath in and out. And on your next inhale, lengthen and exhale. Find your feet or ankles if you can, and press the ankles into the hands and pull the ankles towards your body, creating nice opposition, lifting into bow pose for 3, 2, and 1. Lower. Take a rest, maybe laying the cheek on the opposite side this time. Inhale and exhale. Pressing back up to our tabletop. And if it's in your practice, you can go ahead and take a headstand, tripod headstand, or a crow pose. I'll walk through headstand real quick and then I'll walk through crow pose. So if you're gonna do headstand, bring your hands to roughly shoulder distance apart. And then place the top flat part of your head on the mat and keep your fingertips facing towards your face and create a 90-degree bend with your elbow. Curl your toes under, press up. Start to walk your toes as close as you can. And then maybe lift one knee and then the other. You could just stay here and play. Or maybe lift one leg up and the other. Keeping the core engaged, sending the toes to the sky. Control, and finding your way back down. Maybe the same way. If you want to come into crow, planting your palms, lifting the hips up. Index fingers should be parallel to each other, facing the top of the mat. Bring your knees into your armpits and start to shift some weight forward And just notice what it feels like, actively pressing the fingertips into the mat and the finger pads. And then maybe with the gaze out in front of the hands, you lift one foot, squeezing towards the glute, and place it back down, and try that on the other side. And then if you want to try lifting both, but crow's not in your practice, maybe take a block 8 to 10 inches in front of your face. That'll help you remember to keep your gaze out in front so that you don't fall forward. And in the event that you do fall forward, somewhere for your forehead to fall, it's not the floor. So let's lift back up, arms or knees into the armpits. Maybe lift one foot and engage the shoulders, engage the core. Maybe you lift the other foot, squeezing both heels towards the glutes and playing with that for a moment. You also have the option to come to your toes. Come place your toes on a block. If that helps, it both makes it easier to get your knees into your armpits sometimes. And you're already 2 inches off the ground when you go to lift your feet. Wherever you are, let's place our feet back down. And we will find our way to our backs to do a couple of wheels or bridges and or wheels. So if wheel is not in your practice, you can just stick with bridge. We'll come to lie on our backs, trying to get the low part of our back flat with the mat by tucking our pelvis up. Bring the heels in towards the glutes, hands down towards the heels, engage the core, press the hands into the mat, and start to lift the hips up, trying to keep the inner thighs energetically squeezing towards each other, maybe even placing a block in there, and press the hips up and press the chest up. Lift the chin up towards the sky and take 2 breaths here. Inhale and exhale, maybe wiggling the shoulder blades underneath a little bit. Inhale, and as you exhale, lowering 1 vertebrae at a time to come back down. Take a break. If wheel is in your practice, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you can take bridge again. If you're taking wheel, bring your hands right behind your shoulders, fingertips facing your feet. Press the earth away and start to try and press your chest towards the wall behind you. Maybe rock a little bit if that's comfortable, and slowly come back the way you came, lowering onto the top of your back and rolling each vertebrae down at a time. Good. And from here, let's make our way back to a seated position. You can move through a chaturanga, a vinyasa if you'd like to, or we can meet in downward facing dog. From here, inhale, lift your right leg to the sky, and exhale, send the right leg through, bringing your right foot up towards your left hand. Shin does not need to be parallel to the top of the mat at all, whatever is comfortable for you, and check your back leg to make sure that it's straight out behind you. Pause here for a moment in lifted pigeon, and then slowly start to lower down to your elbows or wherever is most comfortable for you in pigeon. And we'll take 3 breaths here, inhaling, create space, and exhaling to relax deeper. 2 more breaths, 1, and exhale, And inhale for 2. Exhale. On your next inhale, slowly start to lift back up to your elbows and to your hands. And if it's in your practice, if it's comfortable for you, maybe try to lift the left leg, left heel towards you, and take your left hand behind you, grab your left ankle, and gently pull the left foot towards your glute. 2 breaths here, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Slowly lower the left foot back down. Press back up into downward facing dog. Walk out your legs a little bit. And we'll do the same thing on the left side, bringing the left foot towards the right hand, checking your right foot, making sure the leg is straight out behind you. Pausing here. And when you're ready, lowering to your forearms or wherever is comfortable in your pigeon. We'll take a couple breaths, 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. In for 2. And exhale. Last breath in and out. Inhale, start to press back up. Coming back to your hands. And if it's comfortable, maybe start to lift the right foot towards the right glute and open up the right arm and chest, grabbing the right ankle and bringing the right heel towards the right glute. 2 breaths here, inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Slowly lower the foot, shift onto your left butt cheek and bring the right leg all the way around, coming into Gomukhasana or cow face legs. Working to get the right knee over the left knee. If you can't get it all the way there, that's fine. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, switch your legs so that your right leg comes underneath and your left knee works to find its way on top of or close to on top of the right knee, keeping both sit bones on the ground. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, lifting back up. And exhale, sending your feet out in front of you for a final seated fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Whatever's relaxing. Maybe you bend your knees a little bit this time. And fold all the way forward and relax. 2 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale finally. Lift up. And exhale. Find a nice seat. Shake your body out a little bit. And then we will come back to lie on our backs. Slowly rolling down. And once you arrive, inhale, send your legs up to the sky. And maybe send your hands up to the sky, letting all the blood flow back down for waterfall. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Maybe do a couple ankle and wrist circles before sending your feet back down. Now we can take any other pose you'd like to right now. If headstand is in your practice, supported headstand, or maybe you can come to child's pose. If you want to take a plow, that's an option. Just take whatever you need for this last minute here. And then we'll meet in a comfortable seat. If lotus is in your practice, you can come to lotus. Otherwise, just relax in a nice comfortable seat, and we'll inhale, find length, and exhale, fold forward. One breath here, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, rise back up. And as you exhale, press down into the earth and lift your butt and your legs off the ground. I'm going to use some blocks to help me. Inhale, find length, and exhale, lift. 2, 1, and lower. And we've come to the end of our practice here, so make your way back to a lying position, and we'll come into Shavasana for as long as is comfortable for you. Maybe wiggling out the legs a little bit when shield wipering the feet. Maybe stretch the arms above the head before relaxing everything down. Noticing your breath, noticing the blood and energy moving through your body. And stay here as long as is comfortable for you. Trying to relax all of the different parts of your body individually. Noticing any sensations throughout your body. And that'll be the end.